Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm called Afirex, Computer Science Advanced Level 0795. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Good. Today, we'll be looking at one big problem faced in programming, which is function and procedure. And when we are done from here, we'll handle some little exercises, okay, on functions and procedures. Good. Now, what you need to know here is before even getting to know a function or a procedure, okay, you need to know what a subroutine is. Is that okay? And now a subroutine is like a block of code, right? That performs a specific task and can be reused whenever the code is needed within the program, okay? And a subroutine, all right, can also be called a function, okay, a procedure or a method. Is that all right? Now, one characteristics now with a function is a function returns a value. Is that all right? But now, a procedure does not necessarily returns a value. A function returns a value. A procedure does not necessarily returns a value. So you should take note of that. Is that okay? And now with functions, we have three components, all right, of functions. We have the function call. Is that okay? Function declaration and function definition. So it is now in this way, if I want to do it clearly, we have the function declaration, we have the function call, and the function definition. Is that okay? Now, the function definition and the function declaration is always done out of the main program. Is that okay? But now the function call is done inside the main program. Is that all right? And now, what you simply need to know here is this doing all of this practically, it is not difficult. That is why it's always advisable that you know how to interpret a pseudocode or let's say an algorithm, and have three ways of doing that. You have either a natural language or you call this the structured English, which is a subset of English language. We have the pseudocode and we have what the flow charts. Is that okay? But now in this lesson of today, we'll be using just pseudocodes. Is that okay? Good. And now a procedure, all right? A procedure normally does not necessarily returns a value. So you should take note of that. Is that okay? You should take note of that. So good. Now we'll be diving in to what we have to do today, which will be projects that we're working with, procedures and functions. Good. In the first project, project one, we have the maximum of three numbers, and we have the problem there. Design a program that accepts three integers from the user and determine the largest among them. The project will help students understand function declaration, definition, and call by value. Good. Now we have the tags there. We have to write the pseudocode of the program. Then we write the function max number int a, int b, and int c that returns the maximum, and three call the function in the main and display the results. Good. So I'll be using Microsoft Word to write the solo code. Is that okay? Good. So I'll simply open my Word. Okay. Simply open my Word. Good. Now, so we have a pseudo code. Pseudo code. Now, normally we start. After start, we have declare function, and the function name there was max number. Declare function. We have max number of int, let's just say a comma b comma c. Good. So the next thing there is Remember, a pseudocode resembles a programming language but does not follow the syntax of a programming language. Is that okay? So good. The next thing there is now we look at if okay if A is greater than B and we use a Boolean operator, A greater than C, then you return what A. Is that okay? Else else if A greater than C, then return supposed to be B, okay? If B greater than C, return B, else return C. Is that okay? And then the end function. And now we have to begin the main. And now we input X, Y, Z. Is that okay? Now why are doing this is because now we have we have the parameters here, all right, inside the function. Is that okay? But now inside the main, we need to declare another variables different from what we have done in the parameters of the function int number. Is that okay? Now the next thing is we can now call. Is that okay? We have max number max number. Let me look for the symbol. Let's just look to insert. Yes, to let's say max. Is that okay? And then we display uh, maximum number is, and then we put the max. Is that okay? And then now the next we have the function definition. Now is that okay? Let us put a stop there. And then next, now we have the function definition, which will have declare function, which is number, max number, yeah, of A, B, C. Is that okay? Then now the next we do have now, oh, sorry, we stopped there. Is that okay? We stop there. Good. Now we stop here. Is that all right? Sorry, I was like going to begin the function definition of which we have done it here already. Is that okay? Sorry about that. Good. Now we need now to apply this now using an IDE, and I'm using PLC. Is that okay? So I dive into PLC. You can use your Dev C++. You can even use Visual Studio Code or whatever. So good, on PLC, I just start a new project. Now we have empty projects here. I will now to Windows 32 console program. This is a console program. Is that okay? And I can just say here that Max, because I have done that. Let me just add it. You can put yours as project one. Is that okay? Max. And then now I go now to file and I take source code. Good. So the first thing that is now I'll be doing is with comments. Is that okay? We're now looking for the maximum of three numbers. Is that okay? Using functions. Good. So library hash include stdio dot h. All right. And this is, you have the library there for input and output. Okay. Now next thing is what I need now, my function declaration. Is that okay? Now int from now here, write a function max that which returns the maximum. Is that okay? Good. So now int a, int b, and all that. So could I have max number of int a comma int b comma int c. Is that okay? Semicolon. Now I get now to the main program, which is int main, open the parenthesis, and now I declare and other variables that I'm going to use. So I have x, comma, y, comma, z, comma, and max. Is that okay? Which will print out the maximum number. Now we now have now output. Is that okay? So print f, enter three numbers. Good. Now I have my scanf. We have the identifiers for int or for integers, which is a percentage d, percentage d, percentage d, percentage d. We have the ampersand sign, x, comma, for the second y, comma, and the second z. Good. Now I have my function call, which is max is equals to what? The max number of x, y, z. Not A, B, or C. Is that okay? I'll explain later. Good. Now, output. Now, printf, the maximum number is the identifier for integer. Now, this forward slash n here signifies that the cursor goes to a new line. Is that okay? And I have here, comma, max. Good. Now, return 0. And then now I close this, and now I have function definition. And the function definition, we still need to get that declaration up there, which is int max number of int a, comma, int b, comma, int c. And now conditions now. If a is greater than b, and as Boolean operator, and a is greater than c, what do you return? You return a. Else, okay, if b, okay, is greater than c, all right, you return b. Else, you return c. Is that all right? And then you close. Good. So now I will save this file. Save. Is that okay? Max.c. Okay. And then, do you want to add the file max.c into your current project? I say yes, and I click on yes. And then now I compile. Check if there's any error. Good. So no error. It shows this error code here, but everything is okay. Is that all right? Everything is okay. And then now I execute. Good. Now, as I've executed, now they say enter three numbers, right? I can say 1, 2, 3. Now you now see the output here. Good. The maximum number is 3. The maximum number is 3. Good. And now, what you need to know is, look at this. And as I said earlier, now, function declaration and function definition, they are mostly being done out of the main function. Is that okay? Out of the main function. So you need to take note of that. Is that okay? Good. So in our next class or in our next session, we'll be looking at project 2, which will be more on factorial. Is that okay? But we'll do that when we have talked about recursions. Is that okay? Good. Thank you all for listening. Please do not forget to subscribe. Click on the button below. Thank you very much.